You are listening to the USDN on the DSPN.
It's a trap!
What is up, everybody? It's the chairman here, live for the first time in 2026. And as always, this is the USDN Podcast, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people. And tonight on the USDN Podcast, we're spotlighting a creator whose journey blends hip-hop, storytelling, and independent comics from a creative house simply known as 615 to building a comic universe centered on Black characters and lived experience. This is 615 Comics. And joining us tonight is creator and writer, and apparently my cat Evie, Malcolm McFadden. Malcolm, welcome to the show, dude.
Hey, yo, what's good? Thank you for having me on tonight.
So let's start off with the congratulations. Just before we went live about an hour ago, I think, you are fully funded. Congrats,
Yes.
my dude.
Thank you. Let's do a little round of applause. Thank you.
And apparently my cat was doing, celebration laps as I was reading out the intro there.
Thank you to the cat too. Thank you to the cat.
But
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm really excited about
that
it.
was really awesome to see too, dude. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I was really that happened like about an hour ago. I was actually at work when it happened, and I was mad excited. Couldn't wait to rush home. But thank you so much. It's being funded on day one. It's an achievement that I haven't done yet. So it was great doing it today.
Dude, that's a testament to you and your creativity and putting together a phenomenal campaign. I did get a chance to scroll through it at lunchtime. Very impressed. I love the story. And it says everything about you, dude. You earned that.
Dude, thank you, man. I definitely appreciate that because I worked a lot of late nights on the Kickstarter and making the graphics and stuff, man. I'm not a graphic designer, so
dude,
it was a lot of work.
I'm with you on that one. I try to do as much of my own stuff as possible, but yet definitely not the easiest thing in the world to do. But let's dive into your origin story, man. For people discovering you for the first time, who is Malcolm McFadden, and how did 615 Comics come into existence?
Well, Malcolm McFadden is a guy a nerd from Annapolis, Maryland, who grew up, loving comics. Who my older brothers were always into comics, so they got me into comics at an early age. Like DC and Marvel, and then so that love of comics just never stopped. So once I started, always been creating characters in my head and everything, and making up storylines, but never actually took the time to sit down and write it. And which is actually kind of funny because I took a lot of creative writing classes and writing classes throughout life, and just never actually sat down to write a comic book. But I think it was about 2019, 2020, around the pandemic, I really kind of started taking it seriously, and I started writing down my ideas and writing down my stories. And I started seeing a bunch of other creators that were like Godhood Comics, Wiseacre Comics, Concrete Comics. I seen them doing it, and then making comics, and I started supporting those. And then while reading those comics, I thought, hey, these people are actually out here doing it. You got these ideas that you wrote down. Why not actually try it? So, went about, actually did it, actually put the foot forward to do it, and haven't stopped moving ever since. And it's just been a great ride and a great journey since then.
Love to hear the grind, man. I love that. So what were some what were some of those early comics that your brothers introduced you to? I know you said there was some Marvel and some DC in there. What were some of those titles that really kind of like stuck with you? You were like, these are my guys right here.
So of course, they had a bunch of stuff. Like they had like Captain America, they had like Weapon X, and they also had like the X-Men comics, Superman, Batman. They had a bunch of stuff, and of course, like Batman and Spider-Man were the ones that kind of stuck with me. And those were the comics that I was really reading. And as I got older, that kind of transitioned to me, like, you know, branching out, reading more different comics. I started getting into like Static. I started getting to Superman, also just branching out and reading different parts of comics. And then also branching further from DC and Marvel out to more indie stuff.
What's some of your favorite indie titles?
Indie stuff, and we're talking about like real indie, like outside of like Image. I would say, you know, stuff by Godhood Comics. Their comic Magnus is really good. Concrete Comics has a comic called Deja Vu. There's this comic Apartment 6 Comics. They have a comic called Book of Dreams that is fire. I could go on and on about like the indie comic scene because there's a bunch of them out there.
Oh yeah.
And if we're talking like, you know, more indie, more like popular indie, of course, Rodney Barnes, which me and you were talking about before.
Yeah, Crownsville and some of his work with Star Wars. Y'all don't sleep on Rodney Barnes's work. We were just talking about that. In Crownsville, his newest title, I think it's who's doing Crownsville?
I thought I had it next to me, but I think it's in another room.
Do you remember which title it's on?
Oh, what's on? I think it's Oni Press.
Oni Press.
Yeah.
But dude, it's 2 issues deep into it, and it is a phenomenal read. It is based on a little bit of true story.
The third one came out.
Third come out
yesterday.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I do have that one. It's in my mess somewhere. I'm not going to go through and start looking for it, but yes, I did pick it up as well. But don't sleep on Rodney Barnes' work, y'all. That's what we're saying. So let's jump into 615, man. So this name 615 has real emotional weight behind it. Can you tell us the story of the 615 house and why it became a foundation of your brand?
Okay, so 615 was the address of one of my friends. He actually committed suicide, but his house, rest in peace to him, his house was like a hub for just like creativity. Like we at his house, we did a bunch of things we shouldn't have done, and just but a bunch of creative stuff. And then we like, whether it be people making music, people writing music, whatever. And it was just a hub for creativity. And then so like after that, I kind of wanted to keep that, the essence of that, and the essence of him also alive too. So I named it 615 Comics to kind of just keep the memory of creativity and the spirit of creativity alive, and also show ode to a friend.
No, I love that, dude. And for anybody out there listening, trust me when I say this, somebody wants you here. Reach out. You are not alone out there, y'all. Reach out. There is somebody who wants you alive and wants you in their lives. So I didn't want to do an emotional moment like that, but dude, that was
kind of my fault for naming it that.
No. And I segued into that purposefully so we could get that moment out there, because I love the fact that you're paying homage to your friend. I hate the fact that he's no longer here with you,
right?
Because I'm pretty sure he would be right there next to you right now in this interview, creating comic books with you. So let's jump into a little music, man. You're not just a comic creator. You're a hip hop artist and an audio engineer. How does music influence the way you write your comics?
Okay, you definitely looked into me.
Bro, of course, man. Of course.
But that's actually a very good question. Music influences a lot. Just when going from like writing songs and then writing comics, it's kind of I tell people this all the time. It's hard for me now that I write comics to write music as much and write poetry as much. It's because it feels like I use the same side or part of my brain to do it. Like it's a very weird feeling, but it's kind of like when as a hip hop artist, as I've rapped and made beats on either side, let's say I make the beat. Well, to finish the song, I need somebody to rap on it. And it's kind of the same with comics. Like, so I write the stories with comics. So in the comic sense, I would be the rapper. And I need somebody to make the beat so I can, put my words over that. And then that would be kind of like the artist working with the artist to draw and do the colors. So that kind of process helped with comics, and just also as in hip hop, you got 16 bars and 2 verses a song. So you write, that's a lot of words. So it's a very expressive.
Dude, comic books, you get 16 to 32 pages. You got to make the best of it with the words, right?
Exactly. So you got, it's a very expressive genre of music. So when you go into comics, it kind of is, you kind of still get to express yourself the same way, but just differently. You kind of get to show it more because there's pictures involved. So you get to show it more when you express it.
And it also gives that same emotional feel from when you hear a song that you connect to emotionally. You can do the same thing with comic books and characters and stories within comic books. First time I read Death of Superman, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. Young Chairman's eyes had some tears in them. So, and dude, that's the perfect comparison with hip hop writing and comic book writing. I love that. That's freaking an amazing comparison. That's the way you just did that. So when you're creating characters, how much of your own life and experiences are you putting into these characters in your stories that you're telling?
So for some characters, a lot. For some, not as much. So just so like with the character for the Kickstarter I have right now, the character Amari King, aka Mahis, there's not a lot of me in that character. There's a lot of things that I think are cool, that inspire me, that I like, and things like that, but it's not a lot of me in him. So that's also makes it fun writing him, because he's very different than I am. He's a lot more serious. We have similarities, but he's a lot more serious in that way. And I like to joke a lot. So it's fun writing him, because I kind of tap into like a different brain writing him. And I also have a character, Malik, from my comic book The Legacy, who is basically a younger version of me. So it's very easy to write him, because it's just
he's you 10 years ago.
Me, what I would do, So it's I have a lot of different characters, and I mainly really like to do the ones that aren't like me, because it's fun tapping into like a different brain. It's weird at times, but it's fun.
Yeah, definitely. So you've cited characters like Batman, Static, Ninja K, Spider-Man, Peter, and Miles. What do those characters represent to you from a creative standpoint?
Ooh, these are some really good questions.
Bro, I do my research.
You do,
but I will never be accused of not doing it.
The questions is really good. So how they influence me. So and it's all different. So Batman, kind of like his detective style, like and his action. Static with more so how he's grounded, and I can really relate to him. Also with Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Miles. Spider-Man is actually a very easy character as a nerd to like really connect with. So those aspects of that, and like Ninja K, the action with Ninja K, just how cool, and he would be like a character, I guess people call him like aura farming. So like
100%.
Yes.
Dude, I like that. So your goal is to create dope stories centered around Black characters. Why is this mission so important to you?
It's very important to me because growing up, you see a lot of heroes, you see a lot of comic books, action, stuff like that, but you very rarely see like Black characters and stuff, especially when I was growing up. That's more so changing now, which is very good, and I'm glad to be a part of that time. Yeah, and I'm really glad to be a part of that. But it's very important to me, just for that nerd growing up, to have something that he can, see that looks like him, something that he can relate to, and just about giving him a dope story. Because a lot of times and there's no knock on this, but a lot of times with Black stories, we get a lot of Black stories with the Black trauma things, and it's very centered around you being Black. And sometimes I just want a Black character just being black in a comic book world. And so that's kind of what I wanted to bring to the table. And I also want to say no knock on I don't want to say no knock on anybody that does, like tell the black story and tell the black trauma, because those stories still need to be told. But I think there's also stories that need to be told that just show us in this comic book fashion, So that's
I like that.
my big goal.
Dude, that's you. That's the perfect answer, man. Jeez.
That's a real answer.
Ask deep questions, get deep answers. That's what I'm talking about. Out page 44. Yes, this is the Malcolm. It's 15 comments, man.
Hey, shout out to Paige. Shout out to Paige. Me and him actually worked on a comic together, Beer and Bullets, that just released. And we're actually working on another comic called The Bear, which is kind of like a spinoff of Beer and Bullets in a way. It's a very fun spinoff that we're working off right now. So shout out to Paige. He has a lot of stuff cooking in the indie comic book scene.
Hop on Instagram, shoot me a message over at the USDN Podcast, and we'll get you featured as well. We'll bring you and Malcolm on at the same time so we can talk about y'all's work together. Bet. Hey, Paige, hit him up. It's easy, dude. All it needs a message and an email, and we can make it happen. So, how do you balance real life struggles with comic book twists so stories feel authentic but still fun? It's my dude Lloyd. What's up, Lloyd?
Hello, Lloyd. What's good, bro?
Lloyd's gonna be on here soon, man. He's finally getting his book edited, and I'm excited to read his book as well. But Lloyd, we looking forward to you, man.
Yay, what's good, Lloyd? I'll definitely check that out. But what was your question again? How do I balance real life struggles
with a comic book twist so your stories feel authentic but still fun?
Okay, so actually that's one of the easiest parts because I'm a nerd. Like my whole life I've been struggling, I've gone through struggles and I've thought about my struggles in a comic book way. Like as a nerd, I think we all have had the moments where you're going through life and it's like something happens and you're like, man, if I had the powers to do this, I would do this.
Not even 2 hours ago when I was leaving the office, bro.
So that's kind of really easy to do because you kind of just take your life and your struggles and you just put yourself in these stories that you love to read all the time, that you're already reading all the time. And then that kind of helps you, especially now as an adult, and you kind of know things that you went through and you have a different brain and thinking about it. You can kind of shape those into stories and into ways that people can connect with, but it's also still in a comic book fashion. So just to give you an example, sorry for the long-winded answer, but
this is the perfect answer, dude.
Okay, thank you. Just to give you an example, my character, I have a character, Vora Lee, and then she deals with anger problems. So she has powers, but her emotions affect her powers. And then when I was a kid, I used to go to anger management and stuff like that. And I kind of took that and used that with her. Like if I had powers, like I would really kind of have to hone in my anger because I could literally destroy whatever, and I can't use my powers correctly and how I want and efficiently if I, use control.
Definitely feel that one too. Like literally like 2.5 hours ago when I was having to work with some people, and I'm just like, come on, guys, really?
Like if I was Darth Vader, I would just force choke you
the shit out of them every day. Trust me, every day. What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Right now, I'm force choking you in my head.
Yeah, or just like using the Jedi mind tricks, like you don't want to bother me right now.
Exactly. Like, dude, you see me knee deep into this. Come on.
Right.
So where is 615 Comics right now as a company, and what projects are you most excited about? Not the one that just come out. What you have working on in the future?
Okay, so right now, of course, the Kickstarter campaign is going for the King's Domain. But right now, with it being the top of the year, I spent a lot of 2025 really kind of working behind the scenes, working in to put together projects and finish projects up, and all the work and stuff that I was doing behind the scenes has really paid off to where this year I think I can release maybe 3 or 4 books this year, which will be a great achievement for me. It'll be a huge achievement. So I'm knock on wood, but still, like, that where we are right now is kind of taking the building blocks, and kind of just, now really expanding from that and kind of building out the house, I guess. Like, we laid the foundation and now it's kind of time to build the house. So that's where we are. And then projects in the future, I got a good couple projects. I got my project called Theme of the Queen of War, which is kind of my answer to missing more like the warrior woman type of comics and stuff like that. So I kind of made my own, which is something I've been wanting to do forever. So I made that. And this project was kind of very ambitious project. I probably should not have done it, but it worked out. I took a risk.
Sometimes those are the best ones sometimes.
They are. Like, I took a risk kind of making the project, but it worked out. Like I said, like last year was building and it kind of worked out. So that's coming
Sometimes
up.
that nat 20 just rolls in your favor.
Right. It does. It definitely does. But I got a bunch of other comics. Like, I got Subject Zero #2, The Legacy #2. So right now we're also just building. We started out, got all the #1s out, and now we're just building out the series and trying to finish them out. And I'm hoping this year I can finish out the first volume of Subject Zero, one of my series. I'm hoping I can finish out the first volume this year and have a trade paperback by the end of the year.
Oh, nice. Ambitious. I love it, dude. Let's go with it. Let's go. So what lessons have you learned building this indie comic brand that you wish you knew at the start? And this is a question mainly for me because we were talking beforehand, you know what I'm working on. So this is one of those double questions where I'm like, yeah, let's tell the people. But also when I'm listening back later, I'm making notes. I'm making notes.
Right. Right. That's actually a very good question. And I actually think about that a lot. So going back to when I first started making comics, it's a lot. Patience would be definitely one. Patience is one thing, because you got to wait for your artist, after you write, you got to wait for every level, you got to wait for something. And also just patience. I think how I started releasing comics, I think I would have done the little things differently. Tried to really, I kind of threw myself into the wolves with how I wanted to, build out my universe, but it was the vision I had in my head, and I was like a pit bull with it. Like, I need this. This is how I want people to experience it. This is my vision. And so far it's working out how I wanted it to, but I just think I would have took a little bit more caution and kind of not threw myself to the wolves as much. So really patience. I've learned how to work with artists. Learn to sometimes let the artist be the artist. Like, let the artist do their thing. Like, I write it and then, kind of let them, build on that, let them build the vision, because that's what they do. They're artists, that's their expertise. That's why I'm paying them to do it. So let them be them. A lot of lessons, but I think really just to drive it home is really patience, just patience, and just kind of being more efficient with my movements, if that makes sense.
Efficient with your time, your movements.
Yes.
Trust in your artist to deliver, because 9 times out of 10, your artist is going to deliver exactly what you're looking for. They know what you're looking for. And I would say
they can see things that you don't see, that you may not have.
That's it right there. That's the big one right there. And also, I will say, for those who back Kickstarters, and we're all guilty of this to some degree, be patient with your artist. Be patient with the guys writing this. Trust me, they want this done just as bad as you want it in your hands to hold and to read.
Exactly.
And I one of my what's in the box mans from last year, one of the Kickstarters that was delivered was no shit, start to finish, from the time I backed it to the time I held it in my hands, was a solid year plus. Not all of them take a year.
Not all, yeah, that's true.
But for those who like me who love to back indie comics and support indie comics like that, be patient with your people. They want this book done. They want it finished. They want you to read it. They want you to have it just as much as you want it. Just be patient with them, man. That's all I'm saying out there, y'all. Just be patient with them, because trust me, nobody wants this book done more than the man who wrote it.
Exactly. And can I speak to that real quick?
No, absolutely.
Because I actually got into a whole argument with somebody about this, but especially with that, if you're backing Kickstarters, sometimes especially if the creator lets you know that the project isn't done and that the funds will go to finishing the project, just have patience with that creator. And also, if that creator is giving you updates on the project and showing how it's going, please just give them that grace, because all of us indie creators are also human. And also, especially if that's a first time creator, I think definitely you want to give them some grace, because it's like I said, there's things that I wish I knew when I started.
They're learning lessons the hard way the very first time.
Exactly. They are jumping into something they have never done before. So definitely give them the grace. But also on the creator side of things, creators, be open with your backers, because they are giving you their money. They are giving you their money. They're believing in your dreams. So I will
say this: you can tell the difference between a first-time creator and a creator who's been at it for a while, because they will give you those updates weekly, bi-weekly. Some people will post once a day, like, hey, just want to give y'all the heads up. This is where we're at with things, and things are happening, and they're pretty good about it. So, yeah, patience.
Yeah, definitely have patience. But as a creator,
and then apply it to the rest of your life too.
Exactly. Patience. That's something my mom would tell me.
It's the one thing I learned 20 years in the military: patience.
Yes.
So this is another deep one, dude. I hope you're ready.
Okay.
What does success look like for 615 Comics in the next few years?
Okay, next few years. So we're saying about 3, 4.
Yeah, let's go 2030.
2030,
for instance, because I know where I would like to see you, but I want to know where you want to be seen and what you want to be and where you want to be.
2030. It's just crazy that that's an actual number.
Dude,
but
yes, we're closer to 2030 than we are to 2020.
Dang. Okay. Didn't think about it like that, but that's very true. So 2030. It's about okay. So 2030, I think where I what success means for 615 Comics would be to definitely have more of the first arcs of my characters wrapping up. I think that's where I have plans, where my plans are right now, knock on wood, is to have more so around 4 or 5 years to have the first arcs of my characters to be fully done
Nice.
and finished.
Yeah.
To the point where
that's pushing one issue per comic a year. So 5 books per story or 4 books per story for one arc.
One arc. Some of my stories are 4, some of my stories are 5, some of my stories are 3. Okay. So they're all different. So they vary. Like I said, Subject Zero that I'm trying to wrap up this year is only 3. So that's why that one is the first one to easily just be wrapped up and finished. So I want that. So yeah, you're about right. Basically about 4 or 5 books a year. Like I said, I work to have that happen this year. And if everything goes well, that will happen again next year and the year after that. So then at least that's in my plans. So knock on wood once again. But in that's what success looks like for me. And also having a lot more building a bigger fan base, having more of a presence at con events and stuff like that. And that is real success to me. Just building out fame and connecting with the lot more of the indie creators. Like I've done a good job in this last year of connecting with a lot of them, and it's been dope too so far. So I just want to continue that. So that's what success looks like for me in the next few years.
That's one of the big ones I was going to recommend. Like I'd love to see you at cons. I'd love to walk into my local comic shop and them have 615 sitting on the shelf. You know what I'm saying?
That too.
And I always, like, I know Powerscape. He was on here not that long ago. He got his book 1 and book 2 into a comic shops in Canada local, but also in a few spots in New Mexico and a few other places stateside recently. So that was huge. I was so happy to hear that he was able to get his book into some comic shops locally. I want to say Greg, the comic book Greg by Nerd in the Sky. Also, he's in a few local comic shops. Dude, you will know him when you meet him because he'll be wearing a bright pink suit.
I like that. That's tough.
He's such an awesome dude. He works in an animation studio as well. Super great dude, but bright pink suit. That's how you know it's him.
Okay. I like
that. Yeah, I would love to see you in comic shops. Hopefully we meet up at a con sometime here soon. We're both kind of close to each other, so that'd be really dope to be able to do and be able to sit down live with you and sign some books together or something like that. That'd be really fun. Dope.
See, that's the stuff that I really want to. That's what I'm saying. Like have more presence at cons, because I talk to a lot of creators all the time online, and we have great conversations. We're cool, we chop it up, but I don't get to meet them. And I'm a face-to-face type person. Like I was there before we started. Everything was online, so I like to meet people, feel people's energy, give people my energy. Like, so I definitely want to connect with people more.
I feel you on that one, dude. I know, like, the COVID thing, I became a recluse. I'm still pretty much basically a recluse. And it's one of those, the only time I really come out is for cons and comic book events and that kind of stuff. So I'm definitely with you on that one. So you mentioned being inspired by other Black indie creators. How important has just community as a whole been in your current journey with 615 Comics?
Oh, it's been very important. It's been very important because, like, it's actually been dope that some of the comic creators that I was like studying and looking up to coming into comics, like Wiseacre Comics. Wiseacre Comics has been great about Frederick. He's been great about giving me advice. Even if I don't even be asking him sometimes, and he gives me great advice. Just
dude, that's the best advice half the time is the unsolicited advice. Like, hey, I noticed this. What about you try this?
Exactly. That's literally what he does. Like, he literally helps me out. You feel me? So it's been great with the community. Just having conversations with people, bouncing ideas off of people. Just working with them, and it's really great because there aren't a lot of comic book creators. So like your friend group, you're probably really the only one.
I know some people think it's a huge community. It's not.
It's not. Like,
it's small and they're spread out.
Is exactly, we're all spread out. We're not like living all in the same areas. Like I said, you're probably the only comic book creator in your friend group. You feel me? So it's nice to like meet people that are doing the same thing you do, go through the same struggles you go through, so it's that community. It helps you not feel so alone in this. You get what I'm saying? So it's been very important.
Definitely, man, definitely. So, and this is one of those questions I throw out to every creator that's kind of been on. What advice would you give to creators sitting on ideas but afraid to take that first step like you did?
Oh, leap.
Just fucking do it.
Yes.
Do it.
Do it. Yes. Like the Shia LaBeouf joint. Do it. Like, it's really you standing in your own way. Like, I think a lot of times I see creators, I talk to creators, they be like, that's exactly. They be like, I got this whole Bible. I done mapped out my whole universe for 50 years. The character goes through this, that, and the third. I done wrote it out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, so do it. Like, just like you spend all this time creating it, and then you so in love with it. Like, bring it to life so you can see it. I think people be so afraid to just leap. People be so afraid. So it's like this. It's this story all the time. This is what helps me just to do things. It's the same story I tell all the time. It's like, they'll be at summertime. You know what summertime? You go to the pool, you go to the outdoor pool or the indoor pool, whatever. Summertime is hot. And then they open up the pool, they say you can jump in. But you always think about it because like, oh, you be like, oh, that's cold. That's gonna be cold when I get in there. So you hesitate to jump. But once you jump in there, you already know that the water is gonna be warm once your body get used to it, and you're gonna be good. So just leap, just take the leap. Just forget it's gonna be cold, it's gonna suck. You're gonna go through things, it's gonna be you're gonna go through hardships, but just take that leap because once that water gets warm and you swimming, you're gonna have a good day. You feel me?
Yep.
So that would be my advice. Just kind of just to leap and just to kind of study too. Also, I'm saying just leap, but also study the game, ask
100%.
advice, stuff like that.
Don't be afraid to ask for advice. You would be amazed how many comic book writers, how many comic book artists, publishers who will give you advice.
Exactly.
You have to ask.
Right. Just if they don't say anything, if they don't give you advice, okay, they didn't do it. Yeah. All right. So just ask somebody else.
Exactly. You would be surprised how far you will get just by. I know when I first started doing New Comic Book Day, and I would be taking pictures of the comic book. I'd be like, hey, here's what I'm reading right now. Boom, boom, boom. Here's the artist. Here's the writer. Here's this and here's that. You would be surprised the number of artists and number of writers and artists who would hit me up, be like, hey, man, thanks for the shout out, dude. We appreciate it. We're glad you're enjoying the book. And I'm like, oh, writer so-and-so just said they gave me a shout out. What?
Right.
What? Like, dude. I'm still working up. Like, I love spotlighting indie creators, but there's like that little piece of me down inside. I'm like, one of these days, I'm going to reach out to some of my favorite writers on the bigger tables and the bigger, projects and go, hey, you think maybe I could get you on here to talk about this one or that one. But right now, I'm just enjoying the indie stuff right now, putting the spotlight on y'all because I think y'all deserve it 100%.
I'm 100%
and hopefully one day when you're sitting at that big table, you can go, it's the chairman over there at the USDN.
100%. You gonna be up there too, giving interviews, and you also your comic. Yeah.
So I am working on 2 different ones. I got notebooks full of content right now, and the moment all this behind me gets organized and I can settle in, I'm gonna start the official writing. I got my artist picked out for one of them, and we're gonna do it. It's gonna be an experience. I'm gonna try to take everything I've learned from all the indie creators I've talked to, and just kind of put together something that I hope people will enjoy. So definitely,
hey, that's what it's all about right there. Yeah.
But tonight is all about Malcolm. So if somebody was to discover you tonight, 615 Comics, Malcolm McFadden, where would you want them to start with your comic books?
Oh, that's very easy. The legacy. It may not be my most popular. It may not be my most praised comic, but that is my heart and soul. That is my comic. Is actually dedicated to my dad. Also, rest in peace to my dad. It's dedicated to my dad. It's dedicated to just me, my life experiences. It's dedicated to also my son and just leaving a legacy behind. That is my heart and soul story. So if somebody, it's not my most popular story. Like people still like it, but it's not my most popular story. Yeah. But it's my story. It's my heart and soul story.
I think every writer, every artist has that one book that they did. That's kind of like, that's the one that they feel the most strongest about. That's like their baby, the one that they hold near and dear to their heart. And if somebody says they don't have one of their own books like that, they're fucking lying to themselves. Because I think every writer, every artist has that one. It may just be one, but
because typically as an artist, it's just like most artists will say this in any medium, any genre, whatever. They'll say like their most popular thing is not their favorite, and then their favorite one is normally the least popular, like the middle bar of things.
That is true, but let's get down to the nitty gritty, man. The King's Domain. we do know you are 100% funded, and I'm so
Yes.
happy to be sitting here with you right now saying you are 100% funded. But this is what we're here to talk about, is the King's Domain. We got to know you. Now let's get to know the King's Domain. So it's currently live right now. It's issue 1, issue 2, which I'm about to get in on. For those hearing about it tonight, what is the King's Domain, and what kind of story are readers stepping into with the King's Domain?
Yes. Oh, I love this question. Well, and I'm gonna drop something for you that I don't think I've told anybody else. There may be only actually one other person who knows this for real.
Let's go, dude. Let's go.
So the King's Domain, just to start off with how I got the name. The name is actually it kind of goes with my 615, the name of my company. So there was this one night where we were actually at my friend's place. We were chilling. It was a night before we went to King's Dominion. And then me and my friend were actually writing a song, and then we just called it the King's Domain. And we was like, yo, this our domain. We kings. That's what we call it. We're going King's Domain tomorrow. So we called it that. And then so when I went into this book and I had the character's name, I called him Amari King, and I was kind of going with names, and that's why I call it the King's Domain, because like it's like him, since his last name is King, and like this is like his domain and what he's trying to protect and stuff like that. So that was actually how I got the name, and that's, I think, the first time I actually said that to somebody. But the King's Domain is a story about my character, Amari King, aka Mahis. He is a protector of animals and a fighter for the innocent, and he's on this mission to take out this criminal organization called the Alpha Organization, and they profit off of animal cruelty, and they just profit off being evil people. Like they're just they just need to be dealt with. All right, they're bad for humans and animals, just the earth, period. So he has made it his mission as a protector of animals and a fighter of the innocent to bring them down. And then so in this series, you will follow him, trying to bring them down, like pursuing them and trying to stop their whole organization. And to answer your second question, the type of story that they're going to get with this is, I love that you asked this, because I just came to this realization just like the other day. So with this type of story, I forgot the name of it. It's some weird name, but there's type of stories where like you have these adventure characters, these characters of like myth and legend. So like characters like if you ever seen the movie or the comic The Phantom, characters
dude. And the fact that Phantom is about to get another rerun in comic books makes that statement even better.
Exactly. So Phantom, like characters like the Phantom, Zorro, like characters like that you would tell about over a campfire. So like those type of characters. So I kind of came to a realization that I made that type of character actually reading the new Phantom series that you just mentioned. So I came to that realization that I made that type of character, and not really realizing that I did, when I've been loving that type of character forever. So that's the type
always.
Of
I remember reading him on the newspaper, back in the day.
See, I got into him through the movie. The Phantom, and then I got into the comic. I didn't even know it was a comic for years.
It was a comic strip.
Yes,
in Sunday paper.
That's dope. Yeah, I did see that because I looked into the character. That's how I figured out what the type of name of that this type of story is, but I can't remember it. But just stories. You're gonna get that type of story, like adventure type and a myth type of story, mythological type of story.
Nah, that's some of the best ones to me, man, where you discover that you've written something completely original, but it's very, like, it reminds you of this character over here.
Exactly.
And it's really dope that I love that Dynamite is doing all these old reruns of comic books like that.
Yeah.
And they're getting some big IPs this year. I mean, they've done Powerpuff Girls, Gargoyles, you name it, man. Dynamite has been on it, dude.
Oh, they did do that new Gargoyle. I gotta get that. I thank you for reminding me, because that was a series that I was like, I'm gonna get this when it comes out on trade.
Yep. They did Gargoyles, and they did Gargoyles the Dark Ages, which one of our podcast friends, Drew Moss, did the artwork on.
What is the Dark Ages, like taking it back
It's the prequel basically to the Gargoyles before they came to New York or wherever it is. Yeah. Dude, it's really good.
I gotta check that out.
Dude, it's really good. You can probably find it on trade paperback now on the Dynamite's website.
Oh, bet. Oh, yeah. See, that makes it easy.
Yeah. That's what I do. Whenever I discover something like that, I'm like, how come I'm just now finding out about this? And I hop on the website. I'm like, trade paperback. Send that to the house.
Facts.
Because don't get me wrong, I love singles. But if I'm just discovering something for the first time and it's on like issue 10, that means in my head, that means there's 2 trade paperbacks out there.
Yep.
So let me get those 2 trade paperbacks, and then I'll play catch up and pick up with the single issues on issue 11 or whatever.
And I just like to read trade paperbacks. I like that. I love singles, but when you read like the whole arc, like at one sitting, that's what I love.
So that's the way I am with Ghost Machine. I love collecting Ghost Machine comic books. I love their wraparound covers, their connecting covers, and stuff like that. But a lot of the times, like I have like all their current trade paperbacks, and I just like to sit down and read like the first 8 issues of Geiger when go. Because it's such a good story. Such a good story. But so what, I know we were just discussing this a little bit, but where does it fit within the larger vision of 615 Comics for the King's Domain?
Oh, where the King's Domain fits, it for each of my series, the way that it is a connected universe, but for each of my series,
that was my next question. I'm glad you brought that up.
Right. For each of my series, I wanted them to stand alone so you can read them. Like if you were a fan of one and not really a fan of the other, you can just read one. Like you don't have to read the others to know about the other series. Because that was when I love DC and Marvel, but sometimes that gets on my nerves.
Oh, it's so like, convoluted, man.
Yeah, I'm not. It's like I'm not even reading that side of the universe, but I have to know about it to know what's going on in this pocket of the universe.
Oh, wait till people they drop the Secret Wars and realize like there's multiple wars going on in Secret Wars.
Like then they got like so many like spin-offs that are part of the main events and stuff like that, where I wanted my universe to where they stuff will cross over and they will have big events, but you can just stay with one storyline, and then if the big event happens, you can jump onto that event and then you can jump right back on to what you were already reading. If you want to do the whole universe, that's cool. Of course, I would love for you to, but like I want to make it so it is kind of all inclusive to like if you want this side. And so where the King's Domain kind of fits, he kind of fits on not really like the superhero or vigilante, but he kind of fits in, like I said, that adventure side of my universe. So he kind of fills that void of things and kind of he moves around. He mainly, you'll see mainly his story in Africa, but he kind of still will move around like worldwide and do things throughout the series.
And it sets you up for success later on. That way, if you're coming to an arc and you're like, how do I want to do this arc? Or, hey, I'm at a lull in this one story. Let me tie him over here into this other story for a couple of issues or something, or for arc over here while I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with this guy. But I could bring him over here and do something, and you can just move him around. Like this one didn't really work for me. He's going back to his solo issue. It gives you a lot of leg room to play with your characters within your universe. So it's always really cool when I see people going, hey, I have these 5 stories going. They can all be in the same universe.
Right. And then they could all be in the same universe, but what happens in this doesn't really affect what happens in the other. And if it does, it won't be a lot for you not to know what's going on. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. I like that. And to me, that's just, it makes sense,
Right.
Because I mean, and I love Easter eggs, so you could Easter egg your own character and your own story in the background.
I love
because it makes sense because they're all in the shared story. There's nothing better than reading a comic book, and I can't remember the last time I seen it, but it was just one of their other characters from the same writer walking through the background of a story, and it was just like, wait, is that one character from that other book he does?
Exactly.
And then like in the next comic of that character that you've seen in the background, you see him in his comic book and you see the other character in the background of
That would
it.
be dope.
So they just literally passed each other, two characters, same universe, passing by on the same panel, on the same page, two different stories. It was really cool to see.
That's creative. That day, I might have to steal that idea and do something like that.
Steal it.
Because
Nothing
right
says
now,
you can't. That's what's great about comic books, right? Everybody has stole something from somebody.
right, especially DC and Marvel. But that is like the Easter egg thing. I love Easter eggs too. So one thing I've been doing, especially in this series that I just released, the King's Domain 2, there's a character that makes an appearance that is a character in another book, but it doesn't mess with the story at all.
Mhm.
But you'll see him appear. And it's dope to put those little Easter eggs. I do a lot of Easter eggs, and I'm actually been working on the crossover between my characters, and the fact that I've dropped these Easter eggs makes writing that crossover so easy because I can just bring things right back into it.
And I'm glad you said that too, because I can read a comic book in 5 minutes, but I can never do it in 5 minutes. It's going to take me 20 or 30 minutes because I'm investigating each page and each panel because I'm looking for Easter eggs. I'm looking for little hidden details. I'm looking at the art. I'm studying the art because I want to see, how they laid out panels and why did they choose the gutter here versus there and that kind of stuff. It takes a unique human being to just be like, oh, I just read that comic book. I'm like, you held it for 2 minutes. What are you talking about? You read it.
Right.
Like, did you even look at it?
Right.
Did you study it? Did you embrace yourself in the artwork and the story?
Right.
2 minutes?
Like normally if I read a
Rookies.
book, that fast, it's kind of just to kind of get the story, but I'm always going to come back to it. Like I'll do that. I'll do something like that. If like I'm leaving a comic book store, I'll go into my car real quick and be like, okay, I'm going to go through this.
Let me flip through
the story. Yeah. And then, then when I get home, that's when I really like dive.
Because you're looking for
it.
something. You're looking for a particular piece in that story that you were hoping was going to happen. That's what you're looking for. Because I do the same thing.
Exactly.
Let me pull this out real quick. Damn it. Okay, maybe it'll be the next issue. But you're going to go home and you're going to read it.
Exactly. So
let's jump back into this Kickstarter because we can talk about that kind of stuff for days. So why was Kickstarter the right platform for this project, and what does direct fan support mean to you as an independent creator? And when I say Kickstarter, you could have went with Indiegogo, but I have discovered myself that I'm not a big fan of the way Indiegogo does the back end of their business.
Okay.
But that's just a me thing. It was something that I recently just learned. I prefer Kickstarter, like all stretch of the means,
So I don't really know too much about Indiegogo's like back end and stuff. I did do an Indiegogo, but that I'm not even gonna go into that. But it's really just that Kickstarter is kind of the platform for comic books and indie books. So it's like there's a fan base already there on Kickstarter. There's like every Kickstarter I have, there's times where I see people that have just been people from Kickstarter that back it. And Kickstarter also gives you a lot of the analytics and the numbers on the back end for you to use. A lot of those numbers, I don't even know how to use them, but they're there just in case I do figure out how to use them. So that's why I use Kickstarter, because I really do love the platform and I love the fan base that's on there and just how it works. As even a person, it's just crazy. I think I've backed like 300 Kickstarters, and I just realized that looking at it. But
you got that super backer sticker on you.
I think I do. Have a super backer.
I forgot how many it's after, or so many. How many? I forgot the number. Is that number? Because I think I'm getting close to it myself.
Yeah, so like even with me, you as a fan, I love how as a fan how to use it, how it makes it real easy for you to back a Kickstarter. It makes it real
Here's
easy.
the other thing I like too. So I'm following you on Kickstarter. It tells me the moment you launch yours, and then the moment I support yours, it's going to say, hey, congratulations for supporting Malcolm and the King's Domain. Here's a list of other comic books that you may enjoy. And some of them are like, oh, I like that one. And you can go and read about that one. But every now and then they'll be like, they'll offer you something. And you're like, no, that's a hard pass for me on that one.
Right,
But
but they still
I would say
offer
9
you.
times out of 10, though, they're offering you some good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they have like a thing that checks your algorithm, I guess, so it knows what type of comics you like, because that does that for me. Like, especially the comic, especially if you back something that gives you stuff like that. So that is also why Kickstarter is one of the platforms I really love.
No, I'm with you. I think I'm on Kickstarter every day.
Yeah,
Just
I
looking
get
at
messages all the
projects
time.
and yeah, I'm always looking at projects on there and going, man, I wonder if I can get that person to come on and talk about that project or something like that, you know?
And then what was your second question about the fan base?
So that was a different question. You already answered that one. So that was just like, why was Kickstarter the right platform for this project? Oh, I'm sorry. It's the second part of this question. And what does direct fan support mean to you as an independent creator?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, that one is really good. It means a lot. It really means a lot. Shouts to, I can't name a lot of them, but there's a whole bunch of people that are on like Facebook, Instagram that have always supported me since like day one. That shout out my comic book all the time, just Facebook groups and stuff like that. The direct support it's love. It's real love. Just because when you, as an artist, when you put out stuff and then people receive it and like it, and then you put out a piece of you basically, and they receive it and like it and support, like I told this guy today, I think I told him today, I was like, bro, if I had $1 for every time I told you thank you, I would be making live action movies right now. So like the support means everything, because it's like I literally can't do this. I'm not gonna be able to make the next book if you guys aren't supporting and I can reach the goal. So I always try, as a creator, like I always try to tell people that comment or say anything on a post or anything, I try to tell them thank you, I appreciate it. I'm ready to start trying to speak a different language so I can say it different. So, but like, but it means a lot, and it really helps out. And it's sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes it's like today, like people were saying congratulations and stuff. I was like, I don't know how to take compliments and stuff like that. Like
it's always hard, isn't it?
It is. It's very hard. So it means everything. So it's very important to this journey, and it keeps you pushing. It keeps you pushing, and it also adds pressure. I told my wife when I got home,
you don't want to let them down. Like, you really don't.
That's exactly it. I told my wife, I was like, it's kind of like I reached my goal and now I feel more pressure because like people are actually supporting. It's like, dang, I don't want to let these people down. They done spent their money, you know, stuff like that. So it definitely gives you a push, but it definitely adds pressure at the same time.
Oh yeah, dude, trust me. I like, you are my first live show of 2026, and I was like sweating, and I'm like, yeah, man, this is my first one of the year. I gotta make sure this is right. And I'm glad it was you, because you brought the good energy. And dude, you'd be surprised how many people will come on a podcast and talk about their project, and they just seem so unenthusiastic about it. I'm like, dude, you just created something amazing,
right? Exactly.
Show some enthusiasm for your work, man. And you definitely brought that energy. And speaking of energy, let's talk about rewards. What can backers expect when they support the King's Domain?
So from the rewards, we have a bunch of different rewards. I have 3 covers available. We redid the issue number 1 cover. There's a brand new cover for that, and we also have 2 covers of the issue number 2 available. So you have 3 covers, and with each physical backer, I'm giving them Fury sticker. So my character, he has a pet lion who is rare.
That lion is fleeing.
Yeah, the rare black line. So I'm making him a sticker, and those things you can expect, and also you can just expect when you get your rewards, because the project is done. I've paid for everything, the lettering. I'm actually after I get off this interview, I'm going to be putting the layouts for the comic together so I can send it to the printer soon. So that'll be one thing I'll be working on tonight.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm really trying to get it. As we talked about with Kickstarters, and you know, like we talked about earlier with creators, I'm trying to have the project printed, at least a good amount printed, so when the Kickstarter is done, now especially since I know I got my goal, when it's done I can just start fulfillment like as soon as the joint is done, so people don't gotta wait for their books.
This is going to be a 45-day or a 30-day Kickstarter.
This will be 30 days. So I think it told me
so this is going to be a little shorter one.
Yeah, it'll end February 14th.
It should be the 14th. Yep.
Yeah.
You started on the 15th, it'll end on the 14th of the next month. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll end on the 14th. So people should definitely expect to get their rewards soon. I'm not because especially I'm gonna have, like I said, I'm trying to release other books this year. So I'm trying to have this book in the people's hands before I even try to release the next book.
Yeah.
And then so that's kind of how I like to do it going with the Kickstarter campaigns, just to kind of build trust with the backers and stuff like that.
Dude, yeah, no, 100%. And it's cool that you actually had the funds to be able to to go ahead and get it done. This is at the point where I want to remind people that sometimes that isn't always the case for Kickstarters. Exactly. Sometimes the people who are starting Kickstarters are really relying on you to help fund the actual book to be finished. And then they're going to take care of you. Trust me.
Thanks.
I'm trying to think, The Plague, great husband and wife team. They 100% fund it, and that money is going to the artist to finish your physical stuff. They did t-shirts and all that stuff. I've already received my t-shirts, my poster, which is a really dope poster that's going to eventually be on the wall. But be patient. A lot of times you're not going to get that physical reward right away, especially for the comic book, because it's literally you are helping them pay to have that book finished and made. Right. So for anybody out there, whenever you're backing a comic book, if you don't want to support someone who's not quite finished the book yet, they're going to tell you if that book is done or not. And most of them are really upfront and honest about it, and you are their make or break.
Right.
So remember that. So I like it though, dude. I know as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go do my thing too. I got to get my pledges in for a couple. So
yeah, you actually showed me one. I got it saved on my phone. You said Flame Vault
with Bruno Canarino. I got to get that one in tonight, and I got to get you in tonight. And there's a couple of more that we're gonna have to. They might have to be next week's, but they're gonna get back for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely checking out that Flame Vault too.
It's so fun. It's so good, and I love it. Like, his stories are good. They set up the next story very well. And they're always very bright and whoever does his colors for him are always on point. So,
I'm going to check that out.
If somebody is on the fence right now, what would you say to convince them to take the leap and support the King's Domain?
Ooh,
sell them the book, man. Sell them the book.
Sell them the book. Well, man, if you're looking for something new, this is something new. It's something original. It's something that's from my mind, from my creativity, something that I love. So if you're looking for something new and original, something to jump into, definitely. Especially if you're a new fan of comics, this is, like I said, I'm an indie creator. You can grow with me. You can be like, hey, I was with him when, the King's Domain first came out, and then now I'm here when King's Domain 100 comes out. You feel me? So like,
I like it.
This is, and plus this is a story. It's a story that, it's about, like, being a protector, being a provider, being somebody that goes out there and, puts that foot forward for something that they want, and then something that they want to change. So that's really what this story is about. Like, there's this man who has these resources, has these powers, not powers, but has these abilities, and he wants to actually affect change in the world in some way. And that's why I can't wait till, like, the series ends and you can to the arc ends and you can read it all together. But he really wants to affect change in the world in some way. He wants to like make it better when he leaves this world. So if
I like to think we all as men and women want to do that to some degree. I mean, there's some people who just want to watch the world burn, but there's those of us who really want to affect change and see change in the world. So
yeah, and he's up against those people that want to watch the world burn. So that makes the story interesting and makes it kind of really relatable. And like I said, I can't, especially if you're with me now, so back in issue number 2 on Kickstarter. I can't wait for you to be with me when the volume 1 of this comes out, and you can see the first arc and how my character starts off, and how he will grow from this first arc. So that's I really, anybody that's on the fence, I'm hoping that gets you on this side, but I still got time to get you off the fence later.
Hey, you're here with us now. You're in the family, so we're gonna make sure that we're getting it done together. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So one last question before we sign it off, man. When people look back on 615 Comic years from now, what do you hope they say when your stories and your impact?
I just hope. Okay, so like I said, I wanted to make. This is bet. Why did I even take that long to think about this?
You were overthinking that question way too much.
I did. I really did. I actually had this answer. I want, when people think about 615 Comics 10, 20 years from now, I want 10, 20 years from now, the kid that is a teenager right now, I want him to be like, man, I didn't see myself in things, and when I picked up 615 Comics, I saw myself. I saw a character that looked like me. It inspired me, wanted me to be heroic, wanted me to, like the King's Domain, take a step forward and make a change in the world. And so I want the younger me to get that representation that they may be yearning for, that they may not get every day. That's what I want people to say 10 years from now. I want the old head in the future to be like, yeah, when I was a kid, I had 615 Comics, that we was on. Y'all kids don't know nothing about that 615 Comics. Like, I want people to be like that.
Yes, bro. Yes, I love that. That's it right there. It really is. Inspire that next generation to step up and do what you did, and then that generation do the same thing. But before we let you go, man, Malcolm, tell everybody where they can find you and where they can find your Kickstarter.
Real easy. You can find me on Instagram at 615 Comics. The 615 is spelled out. You can actually see it on the bottom of the video as going along on the banner. Also under my name. Yeah. But like, it's the 615 is spelled out, so it's not the numbers. It's spelled out 615 Comics. You can find me on Instagram. You can just Facebook. If you put in 615 Comics to whatever social media, I should come up. Also the Kickstarter, if you follow me, if you go to my website 615comics.com, when you go to the website, it's one of the first things you'll see. If you go to any of my social media, if there's a bio that has a link in it, that's the link that's in it. And also I'll be posting, if you follow me, I'm literally posting every day of this campaign. I post every day, period. So if you follow me, you gonna see this Kickstarter campaign. You gonna see it.
Yo a nerd.
Oh, yo a nerd.
Don't leave that shit out. Don't leave that shit out, because that shit is good.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. I sometimes I be so laser focused. Yo a Nerd, I also do a channel called Yo a Nerd, where I basically just talk about nerd stuff. I just talk about comic book stuff, read comics. Also, I'm trying to talk more about wrestling, because I watch wrestling too. Just all stuff into the nerd realm. So it's not really, I'm not really trying to be a content creator. I kind of just like to talk about stuff.
Just being yourself. Just being yourself.
Yeah, facts. Just being myself. So on that channel, like you do here, I also give props to indie creators and indie books, and I also review Kickstarters that I've gotten back. So yeah, thank you for saying that too, because I definitely would have.
I didn't want you to leave that one out, because that dude, I'm not gonna lie, I probably spent a good 20 minutes today at some point just watching you on Yo a Nerd.
Hey,
just because you were talking about indie stuff, and like, dude, I love what you're doing, man. Don't change it.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And also to you too. Before we get, I also want to thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
this was dope, because this is our first time ever having an actual conversation. So
it really was, yeah.
And it was a nice
outside of emailing back and forth to make this happen. And I always love it when I get people on and there's an instant connection like that, and it just feels like two dudes who've known each other for 20 years shooting this shit and talking about comic books. Like,
this was a great conversation. Like, even when we came on, it kind of, you did a great job of not trying to welcome me, but welcoming me. Like, we just kind of, I came on and we just kind of started talking. Like, we just kind of,
it's funny, because as I was watching Yo a Nerd today, I was like, me and him are going to hit it off.
Right.
It was just like one of those things where I'm like, we're gonna hit it off pretty good.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do something else together later on. I'm telling you, dude.
I'm with it. Like I said,
Let's do it.
I'm all
Let's
with
do it. But let's get you out of here so you can go spend some time with the family. I will be back on Saturday and Sunday. I'm quit turning back-to-back days with I'm gonna have Bruno Catarino on, and so Michael Williams will be the 17th, Bruno Catarino will be the 18th to talk about their projects. I literally, as I was telling Malcolm earlier, I have a whole slew of emails to go through and reply to people. There's a lot of stuff going to be happening the second half of January, so stay tuned. Plus, I got some boxes back there to open for What's in the Box, man. So we're going to have a new episode of that dropping this weekend.
Busy.
Got to stay busy, man. It keeps me young.
But it keeps you moving.
But everybody, make sure you follow 615 Comics, Yo a Nerd across all social media and support independent creators doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe to help USDN continue supporting indie comics. It's really y'all support that allows me to keep doing this. So keep the love coming in for all these indie creators and for the USDN so we can keep bringing these guys on the podcast to discuss their projects, because that is really what we enjoy the most out of doing this show. But this has been the USDN podcast, where indie comics come to life. Y'all be safe out there.
Peace out, everybody.